Welcome to aminacademy.com. Let us do the Turkish War for Independence from 1918 to 1923. The Turks were the only one of the Central Powers able to overturn immediately the vindictive settlement imposed by the Allies following World War One. Because Turkish resistance ultimately was led to success by Mustafa Kemal, it long has been assumed that he created it as well. He did indeed do more than anyone else to create the Turkish Republic on the ruins of the Ottoman Empire, but he accomplished this by bringing together elements of resistance that had already emerged. He coordinated their efforts, expressed their goals, personified their ambitions, and led them to victory. Now, let us discuss further about Turkish War for Independence. The Turkish War for Independence from 1919 to 1923 was a military conflict and revolution that established the Republic of Turkey. The war was fought between the Turkish National Movement and the Allied powers after World War One. The Ottoman Empire was defeated and occupied, and the Allies imposed the settlement on the region. Mustafa Kemal, a successful Ottoman officer, led the Turkish resistance. He coordinated resistance efforts, expressed their goals, and led them to victory. The key events, these are the key events on Independence War. May 15, 1919, the Greek occupation of Izmir stimulated resistance. May 19, Mustafa Kemal landed at Samsun and began organizing resistance. July and August, the Association for the Defense of the Rights of Eastern Anatolia summoned a congress in Erzurum. September, a second congress was held in Sivas with delegates from across the country. October 2, the nationalists occupied Istanbul. October 29, the Turkish Republic was proclaimed with Ankara named the capital. Impact: the war ended the Ottoman Empire and Caliphate and established the Republic of Turkey. It also had a significant impact on the Ottoman Empire economy. The Lost Ottoman Parliament. The Lost Ottoman Parliament met on January 28, 1920 and published their decision on February 12, 1920. This was the last meeting of the Ottoman Parliament, and the Ottoman political system ended with the dissolution of the General Assembly on April 11, 1920 by Sultan Mahmud VI. The last Ottoman Parliament decisions, known as the Misak-i National Pact, were a set of six decisions that the Parliament made. The decisions were used as the basis for the claims of the Grand National Assembly of Turkey in the Treaty of Kars and New Republic of Turkey in the Treaty of Lausanne. The Ottoman Parliament was reviewed in 1908 after the Young Turk Revolution, which brought about reforms and increased political party participation. The second constitutional era, which lasted until 1920, began with the revival of the General Assembly. We talk about Kemal Atatürk, born 1881, Salonika, now Thessaloniki, Greece, died November 10, 1938. Istanbul, Turkey, was a soldier, statesman, and reformer who was the founder of the first president in 1923 to 38 of the Republic of Turkey. He modernized the country's legal and educational system and encouraged the adoption of a European way of life, with Turkish written in the Latin alphabet and with citizens adopting European style names. One of the great figures of the 20th century, Ataturk rescued the surviving Turkish remnant of the defeated Ottoman Empire at the end of World War I. He galvanized his people against invading Greek forces who sought to impose the Allied will upon the war-weary Turks and repulse aggression by British, French, and Italian troops. Through these struggles, he founded the modern Republic of Turkey, for which he is still revered by the Turks. He is successful in restoring to his people pride in their Turkishness, coupled with a new sense of accomplishment as their nation was brought into the modern world. Over the next 2 decades, Ataturk created a modern state that would grow under his successors into a very viable democracy. For more, the Turkish War of Independence, further detail we'll discuss. Also, it's known as the Turkish War of Liberation, was a military conflict between the Turkish National Movement and the Allied powers of World War I. The war lasted from 1919 to 1923. It established the Republic of Turkey in 1923. After World War I, the Ottoman Empire was partitioned by the victorious Allied powers. The Treaty of Sevres, signed in 1920, stripped the Ottoman Empire of its territories and imposed severe restrictions on its sovereignty. Mustafa Kemal Ataturk, a former Ottoman military commander, led a national movement to resist foreign occupation and defend Turkish independence. The Turkish National Movement fought a successful campaign against the Allied powers and their local proxies, including Armenian, Greek, and French forces. There were several key battles, including the Battle of the Sakarya in 1921 and the Battle of Dumlupinar in 1922. In 1922, the Turkish National Movement launched a major offensive that pushed the Greek forces out of western Anatolia. This victory paved the way of the signing of the Treaty of Lausanne in 1923 that recognized the independence of the Republic of Turkey and established its modern borders. Mustafa Kemal Atatürk became the first president of the Turkey. He oversaw a series of sweeping reforms to modernize the country and transform it into a secular democratic state. The Turkish War of Independence is a significant event in Turkish history. It marked the end of the Ottoman Empire and the beginning of a new era in Turkish history, characterized by secularism, modernization, and a strong sense of national identity. The Great National Assembly as the Ankara government, the Constitution of 1921. What is the Constitution of 1921 in Turkey? It is generally accepted that the constitution was the result of the most democratic constitutions making process in Turkish history. It was crafted by an elected constituent assembly in which the different groups of and ideologies were not only present but also actively participated. In Mahmud VI's age, the Grand National Assembly on November 1, 1922 abolished the Sultanate. 16 days later, Mahmud VI boarded a British warship and fled to Malta. His later attempts to himself to install himself as a caliph in the Hejaz failed. He was the last caliph of Ottoman Empire. So far, we discussed about the Turkish War for Independence in 1918 to 1923. We have done. Please subscribe our YouTube channel.